Avatar! Know that Britannia has entered into a new age of enlightenment. Know that the time has finally come for the one true Lord of Britannia to take his place at the head of his people. Under my guidance, Britannia will flourish, and all of the people shall rejoice and pay homage to their new guardian. Know that you too shall kneel before me, Avatar. You too will soon acknowledge my authority, for I shall be your companion, your provider, and your master.
Hey guys, Andy here. Welcome to my second good old game overview video. This is Ultima VII, The Black Gate, and it is one of my favourite games of all time. So it's quite easy for me to do this video. Now I won't go on and on about how great this game is and all that sort of stuff, because there's loads of other videos that have done just that. And let's just say that it was released in 1992 and it's a classic, and it was ahead of its time then, and it still stands up now. It's this really good game, and it's just been released on GOG at the amazing cheap price of just $5.99. When I consider I paid something like, I don't know, 40 quid for it when it first came out. I'll show my age a bit now. And also, this game's been around for 19 years. I mean, there's a lot of people, gamers that are around now that weren't even born then. So yeah, it's quite unique. It totally changed the way the Ultima series was played, I mean, gone are all the icons and the grid-based movement, and gone are the character screens on the right-hand side of the screen. It is now the party that you end up with are all AI controlled. There is no your characters in your party, should I say, sorry, they are all controlled by AI. You, the avatar yourself, you can leave it up to the AI, or you can control combat yourself manually. You can alter the behaviour of your party and the things they get up to during combat, but little else to do. But the AI does stand up pretty well, and it's pretty good. So if you like micromanagement, you know, of each single party member, because you can end up with up to 8 members in your party in this game. You know, maybe it's not for you, but it still does a great job, and they've changed it's an open world now. I mean, the scope of this game at the time was vast, and it's still pretty good now, and I think we owe a lot to this game for a lot of the games that we play these days. Anyway, enough about that, and on with the plot. Now, you have been transported back to Britannia 200 years after your last visit, and immediately you appear in the town of Trinzic, which is in Britannia, obviously, and you come across your old friend Yolo here, and he is going to help you investigate this grisly murder that has occurred. Now, this game also, at the very beginning of the game, you sort of know who your adversary is. This the big red guy that was speaking in the intro, he's called the Guardian, and he wants to take control of Britannia and you know, have everybody as his subjects, and he will taunt you, and he will always be there while you're playing the game. So it's quite unique in that way as well, that you know your adversary from the start. But the plot line basically revolves this beginning storyline of this grisly murder in this town of Trinzic here is it flows through the whole game. That you know, this theme is that you spend a lot of the game, you know, and you're going to be looking for, I don't want to do any spoilers here, but as I say, this murder plot runs through, and there's shady fellowships, and there's things, and you have to go undercover, and that's basically what the plot revolves around, although, you know, obviously there's a lot more to it than that. Also, the dialogue is a lot different than ever before. Whereas before you had to type in keywords, and you know, you'd have to look up in the manual, it would take you an age. But now everything's mouse driven, and you have moral choices to make. You have every single character seems to have something to tell you, and the storyline is just awesome. And you can lose yourself in this game for so long. You know, I'm just so pleased that it's finally been released on GOG, and not only do you get this, you get I'm just accepting this thing to figure out who's done this murder now. Not only do you get the Black Gate and its add-on, you also get the Serpent Isle and its add-on, so it's fantastic value, and there's no more much to be said than that. But what I will do now is I'm just gonna I haven't checked the stables, no. Then I suggest that thou lookest inside and talks to me again. Now, that's the mayor, and you have to. He's an important part of the first part of the game. You have to go and see him when you've been and questioned everybody. So the first thing we do is we go and look at this murder, and this is a good opportunity for me to show the AI and how, the UI and how it works. I think all this tongue tines must be my age, I think. Anyway, here's the murder scene, which we have to investigate. Now, straight away, with Ultima VII, it was the first game where you could sort of manipulate sort of anything in the world. Like, see, I just picked up that bucket and picked up that pitchfork, and you can move things around and use them to your heart's content. You know, like some other reviewer said, you know, if you see a cow, you can milk it. If you see some flour and some water, you can bake bread. I mean, it's that type of game. Now, you pick up things and interact with them just by the mouse. Like this is a key here, as you can see on this poor guy's mutilated body here. And you need this key, so we take it, and it's very simple. You can just drop it onto your avatar. I mean, you can do the long route and open up your paper doll and open up your backpack and drag and drop that way. So you see, you can drag things around and move things around, and it's very intuitive. And to access your other characters, you just press the I button, and then they will appear over the top of yours. You can move those screens around to suit you where you want them on the screen. Movement is just by right clicking. You can double right click on a spot on the screen, or you can just hold the mouse button down and move around that way. There's another poor victim of this grisly murder. Alright, just take that item there. There's a bag over there, we see, with gold. What I recommend also is at the beginning of the game is, you know, get as much sort of gold and food as you can, because you're going to need it. And another thing, your characters that are along with you for the ride, they will get hungry, they will complain all the time that they're hungry, so you have to make sure you have plenty of food. Anyway, this is the very first part of the game, and we have to find as many people as we can and question them about this murder. So here's an example of the dialogue here. You see a distraught peasant. Art thou really the avatar? Oh, yes, of course I am. This is the local stable boy, and he bows before me. My lord, he says. So now we can question him about the murder, and he'll say, I discovered poor Christopher and Dinamo, I think his name is, the gargoyle, earlier this morning. I did not touch a thing. It made me sick, it did. And then you can ask him about the footprints that you can see here on the ground. They doth lead out the back way. Yes, they must be the tracks of the murderer. Or murderers, he says. Okay, so he's given you some vital clues here. And then you can ask him about the guys that were murdered, like the blacksmith and the gargoyle. And you can ask him about his job. He'll tell you he's the stable guy. And this is where you get the opportunity to buy. If you ask him about stables, you get your opportunity to buy your first form of transport in this game, which is a horse and cart that he has for sale. But we don't have enough money to buy it at the moment. But if you want to buy a horse and cart, you can come back and give him, I think it's 60 gold, and then you have your first mode of transport in the game. And that's it, really. For this part, we can ask about it, see if you come back. He wants 60 gold for it, but we don't have 60 gold, so we don't want it at the moment. So let's get out of Dodge, get out of here, and we'll say goodbye to him. So now what we need to do now is go off and find some more people to question about this grisly murder. And as you see, there's another person there. If we double click on those, so go in here first. Everything's done by clicking on it, and there's all sorts of things in the world, like books. If you double click on them, you get to read a little bit of text. And here's a guy that we need to speak to with the hood on here. But anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I don't want to spoil the plot. But this guy here is one of the guys we need to get some questions, ask him some questions, sorry. So eventually we can get out of this town. Because to get out of this town, you need to get a password from the mayor. And to do that, you need to investigate the murder. But that's just a little sort of, not a spoiler or anything, it's just, that's the very beginning of the game. And you can't really do anything else in here except collect information and get some food and gold and some weapons and stuff like that. I'll just explain a little bit more about the paper dolls here. Here we have, if you click on the heart, we have our stats, our strength and dexterity and all that sort of thing. Combat magic hits, you know, etc, etc, as usual. And here we have I'll save and loan. Save and loan. What am I thinking? God, save and load area. I meant to say. And there you can turn off the music sound effects. I do normally turn the music off because it does sort of crackle a bit with the mouse on my PC. I don't know whether it would on anybody else's. Okay, this icon here is to initiate combat, which is a little dove. So you click on that and he goes into combat mode. And this item here is, I think this item is when you have that enabled, your other AI party members will do everything they can to protect you. Now this one here is the formation and your AI. Let's see if we open up Yolo's screen here. You see you can set him to different behavior. I think that's he'll attack large enemies. I think that's he'll attack all enemies. I'm not sure what that one is, but I'm sure it's in the manual or somewhere like that. But as you can see, this is you can do quite a lot with the with the AI in combat, but you can't actually control the characters themselves. But it's still really good. It's a good system, and it really works really well for this game. Okay, what else do we have here? As I say, when you open your backpack, if you want to take your pants off, say, you just drag them over and put them in, just like just drag and drop, really. So here's a map in our backpack. This is a map of Britannia, which is quite vast. Right, I think I might have covered most things I need to just for this overview. Okay, now as you can see there, Yolo is complaining that he's hungry. Actually, so am I, because you see, if you want to find out which character's hungry, when you open up that, if you click on the heart, there'll be a knife and fork underneath there. So that'll tell you which character's hungry. I'm not sure whether Yolo is hungry at the moment. Let's have a look. Is he hungry too? Yes, he's complaining also. So all you do to eat food is you have a look in the backpack, and he's got some bread, and you double click on it, and then a little green icon will open up, and then all you do is you just click on the character that you want to give the food to, and there you go. Ah, very tasty, it says. And the same goes for myself. I'm going to take some bread, double click on it, and here we go. Ah, very tasty. And you can do the same with water and potions and all sorts of things like that. So I'm just trying to think if I've covered most of what I need to cover. I think I have. I'm sure people will tell me if I haven't. But, you know, I don't really want to spoil anything. It is a game you have to explore for yourself. You know, it is there's so much to do in this game. It's quite daunting, really. But, you know, if this video helps anybody get started, well, then I've done my job. There is one little secret I would like to show you guys before I go. And it is a little tip just to find some cool gear that will help you get started. It's not if you don't want any help or anything, stop watching now. But it's just a little secret that's pretty cool, and it helps you out a little bit. So anyway, I'll explain. If you when you finally get the password to get out of Trinsic, which I have now, as you can see, I've got another this little guy here in my party, the blacksmith's son, and there he is. Spark, his name is, and that's Yolo there. And as you can see, they're complaining they're hungry too. Anyway, when you get the password, if you come to the southern wall of Trinsic and to the southern gate here, and once you get through, if you come out of there and then head down here southwest through all this weeds and stuff, and you'll come to this shoreline here, and this little tree. And here is, if you just click on the top of the tree there, underneath is a hidden chest. And it's pretty cool because I know now there's meant to be a key around here somewhere, but I to be honest with you, I can't bother looking for it. So you can just bash it open. So to do that, you just double click on your character, set it to attack mode, and then we'll just get a bit closer, and then we'll bash it open. It should take a few hits. It's taken longer than I thought. Unless I'm using the wrong... Ah, there we go. Okay, so we've bashed open the chest, and if you spread all this stuff out here, you get some very cool stuff. Excuse that crackle in there, I don't know what's causing that. There's 50 gold. There's another 100 gold pieces. You can drag and drop those onto your character. That's quite a lot of gold there. Let's just come out of combat mode, which you can do by pressing just C, by the way, rather than clicking on your character. And then there's magic, what are those? Magic leggings. We've got magic armor, and a magic shield, I imagine, and some other stuff, and some more gold. And you can spread this out between your characters and stuff. I don't know, that's just a cool little thing that I discovered, and it's really cool. There's even a helmet here, I think, as well. A cool helmet. So there you go. And there's some rings, and there's a what's that? Like a what's that one there? Oh, a fire sword. So yeah, we'll give that to our avatar. And there's a crossbow for Yolo there, and there's some rings. Look, there's like a ring of regeneration and a ring of invisibility. So, and there's some magic bolts for Yolo's crossbow. So it's a good little bit to get you started. It's not a game breaking or anything. It's just a nice little egg they put in there. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it with that, and with that, I'm hungry also, so I'm going to go off and have my dinner. I hope you guys have enjoyed this this video. Please leave your questions and comments below, and I will look forward to doing the next one. And thanks very much for watching, guys.